Not that many people yet, but we're going to start anyhow. So since not that many, I'll start with something. So what I was supposed to be announcing this morning, and I don't see Lisa McCaskill on, I don't think. Lisa, you there? And a few other people who I started talking about it ahead of time. You know, I was trying to do something because it's been almost about, I don't know how long since we did anything as a group. And even though I know we're trying to be careful. So one of the best places to do things are at these wineries because they're really spread out, outdoor, indoor, the big barns, the decks. You can really social distance and doing something. The closest one, which is a beautiful winery in Clifton, is called Paradise Springs. Some of you might know it. Nicole's shaking her head. So I started arranging with them for something in the first week of December, like during the week. Started looking into the vendors for the food. I was going to say something today about picking the exact date. And sure enough, what happens yesterday? I get a call from the venue. The governor changed the rules. Everybody knows that, right? To 25 people. And the venue has now canceled. They can't do it. So once again, something I try to plan, I can't do. So I guess, look, we're just going to have to wait. I just figure I could squeeze this in the first week in December, like a holiday kind of thing. Just people pop in, social distance, get together. Some of you haven't seen each other in I don't know how many months, but they put the kibosh on it. So I can't do that. So I apologize for that. Again, most of you didn't even know about it, but there's some of you on here, I think, that I discussed it with ahead of time, whether to try it, not try it. And I think some people are just so, I don't know, desperate's not the word, but love to get together that I figured at the winery it was worth trying. Because if you look at the setup, the barn, the inside barn, which is beautiful, it has so much room, and the upper decks and the outside, if it's not too cold, could have really stayed some distance and just say hi to each other. So anyhow, that now has been kiboshed by the venue. So we'll shoot for something else later on. I'm thinking, if nothing else, maybe, hey, Jennifer, I see you just got on. Did you know I was trying to do that thing at Paradise Springs? Did I tell you that? Oh, I was arranging a Paradise Springs thing the first week in December. And then they canceled on me yesterday because of the new laws by the governor. So, yeah. But I'm thinking maybe the not Christmas Eve, but the day before Christmas, maybe I'll just bring in wine, cider, beer, cheese. People can pop in as an open house all day. If they want to pop in and say hi to each other, maybe I'll do something like that. I just don't know what else to, after that fell apart, I don't know what else. Anyhow, we'll eventually get there to do something together eventually. Meanwhile, stay safe. What else did I want to talk? Oh, just as a funny thing, I'm in the, believe this or not, I'm in the middle of everybody knows I'm still the principal broker, so I take care of all the headaches for the region. I'm in the middle of a thing, a woman who reached out to us last week who's demanding money. I have a DC contract, 1997. She wants to know where the earnest money and all the interest is for this contract from 1997. She said a lawyer told her we owe her the money and all the interest for all these years. So this contract was like, it's an interesting contract. You look back in 97, how it was. And I didn't even know, but apparently in 97, for those, well, there's not too many people on here. There was a time where the Capital Region kept its own escrow funds here. We never sent them up to New Jersey back in the day, apparently. But anyhow, so I just found that interesting. So I'm dealing with this woman who's insisting that she should be given the money and interest. So crazy stuff. Paradise Springs I talked about. I don't see Sherry Carroll on. She sent me an email this morning. Just if anybody has any knowledge, she said she's up against something where the property says it's private sewer. If anybody has any knowledge of that, I don't, I mean, septic is septic, public sewer is usually, any sewer is usually the public. If anybody has any knowledge of ever seen anything called private sewer, let me know. You don't have to discuss it now. I don't see Sherry on, I don't think, but if you have any knowledge of that, just let me know that. I can share it there. I'm not sure what the heck that means. All right, let's go to the slides real quick. Oh, man, listen, everybody, I just want to shout out Lilani from Wyken Insurance has joined us. She'll speak in a minute. Lilani, I'm going to do some initial things, then I'll give it over to you so you don't have to stay on the whole time. But we're excited to have her drop in. My fault, I've been ignoring her for months to come and drop in, but she's here today. Wow, that looks good. You're watching these governors that are banning Thanksgiving and all kinds of stuff. It's crazy. All right, next slide. Birthdays, Dave McCaskill, November, is that today? That's actually today. And Ace is November 20th. Next slide. Oh, I thought we talked about this already, but it's such big news, but say it again. George Candelori, his anniversary was November 3rd. How many years? Next slide.
It doesn't, oh.
46 years. Yikes. That's a long time. Speaking of George, I hate to prematurely, but I'm working on a deal. He actually has a connection to the owner of Pohanka, who has dealerships all over Maryland and Virginia and DC. They have 1,800 employees. I'm trying to make some kind of infinity deal with them, where in their deal for their employees, where our brochure would be there. And if one of their employees reach out to us to buy a house, it's like a rebate thing in an infinity, up to $500,000, $500, $500,000 to $1 million, maybe 1,000, over $1 million, 1,500, that kind of arrangement. So I'm working on that. We'll see. I mean, you never know. 1,800, I think it's 1,800 employees. You never know if you put a trifold in all their dealerships for their employees. Maybe we pick up some deals each year. So we're working on that. Next slide. Open houses still strong, but it was off compared to the previous 2 weeks. 21 opens, 137 guests. So it's still doing pretty well. One of the best in the region as far as opens. Again, we have some people not doing anything. We have other people doing them Saturdays, Sundays. We have people doing them double shifts. One set of agents in the morning, the other afternoon. So that really helps. We are carrying at this moment 44 active listings. Some of them vacant, some who clients would like opens. I still say whether you, again, and if you feel uncomfortable doing them, I get it. But we have a whole bunch of agents who would like to do them. Just please let us know.
Mark,
Yes.
you now have 43 active listings. My Fairlington went under contract last night.
Oh, you did it. Congratulations. Not to tell us, but how close to full price did that go?
At.
So it's interesting. Yeah, I was talking to Tony Sa, who's an agent in our office. You don't see him that often. Again, the same interesting thing. Hold on a second. The same interesting thing where he put something on in a hot community. I think Greenbrier, where he does a lot of business. I think that's Chantilly, right? It was at Centerville, Greenbrier. And the first weekend, nothing. But now a lot of activity. I can't put my head wrapped around that, where a weekend goes by with nothing, and then the following week there's multiple offers. So
this was our first showing. It was the afternoon. I had put it on. This woman's relocating, knew exactly what she was looking for, pulled the trigger with a fantastic offer. And my client's like, let's take it and run.
And the first offer, right?
Yep.
So that's interesting that, 5, 6 days, 7 days into it, they're still not willing to take the chance that they might not get it. So make a full price offer. Did the agent even ask you if you had other offers, or never even asked? Just put the offer in.
She did. And essentially we hadn't set a deadline or anything. I had other showings yesterday, but quite honestly, the other people that looked at it were just kind of willy-nilly.
Yeah.
So I told my client, I was like, you got what you asked for, and it's a really clean offer with a seller buyer. She's like, let's go with it. I'm not around.
That's great. Yeah, we're gonna go to the next slide, Jacinta. So we've been averaging, 13, 14 sales a week. That's why we've been doing 50 a month or more for the last, 5, 6 months. The first week of November was just like that, 14 contracts. Last week, not so good, eight sales. But I will tell you, as far as I know, now with what Jennifer just told us, we have 4 already today. So we'll be catching up, hopefully, with that. The all under one roof continues to be strong. And again, clearly there's not as many offers, but still, I'm still talking to agents that their clients are losing out, or their clients won't do what it takes. So there's still multiple offers, some bidding, and things like that. And even at this point we're at right now, we're way ahead of last November. We're falling behind from October, but way ahead of last November. But usually in office like Alexandria, when you get, I think I've said before, to October, November, December, October is usually the mid 30s, maybe upper 30s contract month. November, low 30s. December, high 20s. These months have all been over 50, so pretty strong still. And November, even with the slow week this week, I think halfway through the month we're at 20, not counting today, we're at 23 or 24 contracts. We're on pace for getting close to 50 again. So it's still pretty busy, and I would still encourage everybody to not just sit back and say holiday season and not do anything. This, now is the time to take advantage of it. All right, next slide. We'll send these out, the absorption rates. Next slide. Next slide. Not to spend too much time on it. I'm sure some of you have been following this and watching it. Here's what I would say. It's probably long overdue. The 1.4 million realtors. I got to say that I've actually been taken back. This is not a political statement, so be careful. But I've been taken back of what I've seen posted on social media. Okay. And I've always tried to warn agents. I didn't even think about it from this point of view. I thought about it from a business point of view, that you always have to understand that no matter who you like, half the country likes the other person. And it's become so heated that look, we're in the sales job. I'm not saying you shouldn't have your opinion. I'm not sure you should put your opinion on your sleeve, and put it out there when you're in a sales job. But this really is probably past due. We know what people will say on social media is not what they'll say in front of somebody. So if you read this article, you'll see actually where I think Vince Malta said, look, somewhere along the line, we got to stop our own people from out in front of everybody saying all these great things and going home at night, hitting the keys and writing these horrible things. So that's why they really did this, and it falls under the ethics standards and things like that. So, I'm sure there's varying opinions on it, but overall, I think it's a good thing, and that we really should be careful of what we're saying and how we're saying it, and what we sometimes don't understand what the meaning or how it comes across. So anyhow, I just thought it was worthy to mention, and that went into effect immediately. And there's whole articles on it if you want to read the exact details and what article it is and where it falls under and things like that. But overall, basically is, you got to be careful what you're saying out there. Even if I know sometimes it's not the intent, but it still comes across that way. So we got to be careful. All right, next slide. Oh, so as I promised, Leilani's here. We're excited to have her come and say hi. It's been too long, my fault. So I give it to you, Leilani.
I know, you divorced me right away, Good morning, everybody. I just want to tell you that I'm still here if you need anything. And then we're still doing for all the associates and employees. If you let us quote your insurance, you don't have to go with us. Just for a quote, you still get the $50 Amazon gift card. And this month, I want to do a monthly raffle, like for everybody, just to make it a little fun. Like every referrals get entered the $50 Amazon gift card. And of course, a surprise gift. For those who knows me for years and years, they know when I have good gifts, like prizes and stuff like that. So actually, I wrote down some of the realtors, the associates that gave me leads, and I'm going to do the raffle. I'm going to send you an email who the winner is going to be. I'm going to do the raffle too. I have so far Nicole, Dave and Debbie, Lisa, Dawn, Nancy, Beverly, Jackie Burns, Sandy, Alex, Mary, and Gretchen. Those are so far that gave me leads. So I'm going to do the raffle, and then I'm going to send it to Mark, who the winner is, for the $50 and a surprise gift. So, but I'm always available.
When is that raffle happening? Did you say?
Well, I started actually like writing out like this last October too. So October, every month, I'm going to do monthly raffle.
Oh, okay, got you. Monthly. Okay, got you.
Yeah, I'm going to do raffle. But this one is the one like that was October that gave me referrals. So, or like, got back to me when I send them email, because I call the clients. I make sure I email first the realtors, or, if it's okay to contact the client now or next week or something like that. It's better if you give it to me like when they ratify contract, at least they have an idea of how much the insurance is going to be, so, or compare, if they already have their agents, they could just compare the rates. So that's going to be going. So I'm going to do this raffle for those ones for the October one. The November, I have it written down too. Then we go from there. All right. But thank you for having me. Even I was ignored for months by Mark.
Anybody have any questions for Leilani? Anything to say? Anything to ask? Again, for those who I haven't told in the past, when I took over the region as president, we were the worst in the company in insurance, worst. And I got Lalani, they gave me Lalani to head it up down here with the team. And literally over the years to come, I haven't looked recently, but we went from worst to the best or second best at different times. So I give her the credit for a lot of that. And thank you to all of you who have responded to what she does and what we have to offer. So any questions, anything else anybody has for Lonnie?
This is Sandy. Thanks Lalani for actually getting back to the clients really quickly and even over the weekend. So
thank
that's
you.
appreciated.
And I remind everybody, look, I have properties, I must have 9 policies with Wyckoff. And if you know me, I wouldn't do it just because it's Wyckoff. I do it because when I compared it, I ultimately saved like a couple $1,000 between all the cars and the properties and all the things, the umbrellas. So I would encourage you just to give them your stuff to look at. If they can't do better, they can't do better. If they can do better, they can do better. So it's worth looking at. All right. Anything else before we move on? All right. Thanks, Alani. Thank you so much.
Thank you too.
Tell Mahoney I said hi.
Will do. Have a great day, everyone. I'll still be like about 10 minutes. I have to jump on another meeting too.
I just found out Mahoney, but by the way, John Mahoney is the president of Wyckoff Insurance. I didn't realize he went to William & Mary on a basketball scholarship. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah. All right. Take it easy. Next slide. Yeah, so I guess my presentation wasn't that impressive, that here I am a week later and 9% of you finished out the plan. So I just, not to be negative, but I don't know how you expect me to have any meaningful conversations with you during the year if I don't have something in front of me saying what your goal was, what you're trying to do. For those who did send them, thank you. And for those who, if anybody's on here who did it online, if you want to chime in how easy it was, please feel free to do that. I am thinking about doing maybe Thursday, I'll pick a time and I'll do a Zoom call. If you get your laptop in front of you and you just have this up on your laptop, I can guide you through the steps. 30 minutes will be done, okay? And this way I have it, and any one-on-ones, any conversations, any things, again, I don't know how many times I've sent and talked and this, you can't be in business without a plan. It just makes no sense. So, and if you have your own that you're using, let me see it, just send it to me. Which of course then begs the question that my guess is most of you don't anyhow. So I just don't understand why that would be. But I don't want to, again, I'll pick a day and a time. If a bunch of you want to do it on Zoom in one shot, go through question 1, question 2, question 3, we can do that. I will send some out ahead of time if we're going to do that, but you need to prep. In other words, how many sales you had last year, what your average was, things like that. I see Jen's thing. Yeah, so I'll do it that way. I'll pick a day and a time, and I'll try to do a group at a time and get them done. All right. Any questions about this? All right. Next slide. Jacinta, did you want to just say something about this real quick? You're on mute. Don't know what happened there.
Sorry, I touched the wrong button.
Gotta get back to that slide.
Okay, guys, yeah. Basically, this is just the stats of using my Wyckoff. I will tell you now, we are one of the worst in the region. I get the stats every week, every month, and considering how big our office is, it shouldn't be like this. I'm here Tuesdays and Thursdays. I answer my emails, text messages when I'm not in the office. I'm easy to reach. I even reply to emails on the weekend, as some of you know, so please let me know. But guys, we've got to really pick this up. I know you guys are busy, I get that, but you just got to organize a one-on-one with me. I'm happy to work around your schedules. You just got to let me know. I don't know what's going on unless you communicate it to me. So please let me know if you need anything. Also, in regards to business planning, your marketing plan should be in that as well. So if you have any questions about that, please let me know. Otherwise, guys, I'm here when you need me. Just let me know.
Thanks, Jacinta. And I would say these numbers are a reflection of the business plans as well. Just not enough people. I don't know if you don't take it serious enough. And again, I know there's some of you have this down pat on your own thing. I get it. I'm not, those people are those people. But the bulk of you, no. And I just don't understand it. And I know you find it hard to believe, but if I would figure out a way to let you drop in on some of these other offices Zoom meeting and hear what they're talking about, remember just said we're the worst, one of the worst in the region. We have offices that these numbers are like logged in 90-some%, imported contacts 90-some, and one good story after another. So whether you think it's a little burden, cumbersome or this or that, unless you have something better in place, I don't know what you're doing. And I just keep reminding you that, of 100 agents, 30-some% have no transactions, and probably another 20% have 2 or less. So I assume you're in it to do business. I don't know why we don't do these things the way we should. Especially now, she's available by Zoom. I'm available by Zoom. So anyhow, I would try to, we're going into another year, turn over a new leaf and get on these things. Next slide. So some of the awards came out for the region. Here's the regional awards first. Let's go. Next slide. Where are we? Christine Garner in dollar volume. Again, I keep saying it, I can't tell you, for a guy like Alexander Long or Daryl Stout to be number 1 and 2 in volume when the average sales price in those offices are anywhere between 180 and 220, just think of the amount of deals they must be doing to have that kind of dollar volume there. All right, next one. Wyker.com, congratulations to Nicole Rhodes. She's not only in our office, but number 1 in the whole region in dollar volume in Wyker.com. We've talked about that many times, about between the people that are on the team, Alex, Leslie, Nicole, a few other people. We've moved the needle. We are not, I think we're number one in the region for sure. We might be number 1 and number 2 in the company. We went from being below 1% to almost 9% in conversion. So congrats to them. Congrats to Nicole. Next slide. Listings. Christine Garner's in there somewhere on number 4. So again, Ann Romer McLean was 1, but Front Royal number 2, and Burke number 3, and I think it was just Lisa McCaskill's in there, Tony Sa's in there. So we have a bunch of people in there at number 4, and Sherry Carroll's in there. So good job. We have a bunch of people in there. Next slide. Oh, Diane Misler. Boy, we had a bunch of people. Diane Misler was in there. Revenue units. Congrats to Dave Ingram, number 2 in the region for revenue units in October. Congrats. Yeah, there was a streak that I think Dave and Debbie turned in like 6 contracts in like 7-8 days. So congrats to them. Next slide. These are the regional awards. Next slide. So Will and Vienna nicked us in volume, but that's the only one. We're number 2 in volume. Next slide. We're number 1 in Wyker.com volume. Next slide. Number 1 in listings. Next slide. Number 2 in revenue units. Number 2 in sales. Next slide. Oh, go back a slide. Go the way. All right. So congratulations to you guys. Again, we continue to be, usually number 1, number 2 in most categories. Having a fabulous year. Really appreciate all that. The next slide I'll put up in a minute. So John, I think John Ripley. John, you're on, right?
I'm on.
All right. Not to embarrass you. So for those who remember pre-COVID days and the annual awards banquets and all those things at the different locations, one of the biggest awards every year was an award that they used to call Rookie of the Year. Now they call it something else. And there was one for Maryland and one for Virginia. It's the agent in the 12 months prior, and it overlaps. I forget exactly how they figure it out. Who did the most business in their rookie year, okay? So it was a big award. That would be an onstage award with Jim Weichert. Unfortunately, we don't have that. Not only that, they no longer do 2 of them. Now there's only 1 person in the whole capital region. So, you got to figure this isn't a company that hires about, COVID aside, I don't know, 300-400 new agents every year. And now it comes out to 1 person. I've been putting it off because I was trying to arrange it with Zoom with either Chris or James White. I gave up finally because we're almost in 2021. So I would like to go to the next slide. Now they call it the Rising Star. And the rising star for 2019 in the whole capital region, both sides, with DC, Maryland, and everything, is from our office, and it is, next slide, John Ripley. So congratulations, John. Unbelievable job. I mean, that's a lot of people for you to beat. I have your trophy here. It's
Hey.
sitting here for a while. But
All right.
I kept thinking I could arrange it somehow. And I just finally said, you know what? I can't get anybody to do what I need him to do. But you'll be getting this award in 2021 if I didn't give it to you today. So unbelievable job. Really fantastic work to get that done. It's quite an accomplishment. So next time you're in the office, come by. We'll do a Photoshop.
I'll be there today.
We'll do
Yeah,
we'll do
we'll
a screenshot, a Photoshop so we can post it.
Cool. Thank you.
Don't let me forget that. We want to post something on the page. So congratulations, John. Great job.
Thanks, man.
Next slide. Oh, Wyckoff Financial. Rich.
Yeah, I'm here. Hello, everyone. Nice to see you. Just moving through the slides. Next slide. Basically, economic data. We're kind of moving from looking at rates moving down to kind of like in flux and scared about rates moving up. So that's where the market is. That we always say in our industry that the trend is your friend. It appears the trend could be close to turning. So basically, the election every day gets in our rear view. The vaccines, already with 2 good ones coming out, and then economic news. You're seeing a lot of that stimulus money getting put to work, and the consumer and the stock market doing well, and then the thought of some future stimulus, either in some sort of paycheck protection or into infrastructure. All those things are positive, and you are not seeing any inflation at the moment. So all that bodes to some concern as far as rates moving up. So every time we have some good news, you have some vaccine news, or you have some inflation data, or some housing starts, or any of the good news, you'll see the 10-year U.S. Treasury, which is our closest barometer to mortgage rates, go from 0.65, 0.75, somewhere in that range, all the way to press right up against 1%, which is, big moves. I mean, it's 25, 30% moves. And it just wants to go there. Everybody can see that. So be careful. Anyone out there who thinks, well, rates will be low and slow forever, as the Fed is saying, does not apply to mortgage rates. So if you have someone who's on the fence and doesn't want to pay 1/4 or 0.5% higher in interest rate, let them know, because and then if you have anyone who's needs to lock in, they should be doing that right away, because we're trust us, we can feel when things are about ready to turn, and it just feels like that right now. I'm not saying tomorrow, but in the next month or two, we're definitely going to see some sort of change. But it could happen tomorrow. It could happen in 2 months. But you're definitely on the precipice of a move in trend, and the move in trend is the biggest one we watch out for, because then we turn and the trend becomes our friend again, and everything initially kind of jumps up. The difference is that rates go down slow, because all the lenders get together and slowly move it down and take advantage of the move down. But when they move up, they're looking at their own risk, and they're going to go ahead and go up super fast, and they'll probably overreact to increases in rates. So on that front, moving on to the next slide, rates are still low, and you're looking at with a little less than a point, you're getting 2.875, 2.49 on the 15-year. The ARM's way out of whack. When rates are low, the ARMs are horrible. When rates are high, you can get some good discount on the ARMs. So not unless you go to a jumbo loan, you're really not looking at an ARM right now. Maybe a 10-year ARM tops. But moving on to the next slide. You know, like I said, positive news, medical, anything else will probably spike rates. We just don't know if it'll get through that 1% threshold or not. Secondly, low rates aren't guaranteed forever. So sense of urgency should definitely be there if that's a concern. Next slide. Anybody who is not using our mobile app to refer, please text me, call, email. We'll invite you in, see how it works. The calculators are just absolutely everyone's favorite. They're on the bottom of the app if you haven't seen them. But super positive results for that. It increases our customer service scores too. You see it in the surveys, how they like the app. Next slide. It also has an option on there for referrals. The next slide. So every year, about the week after Thanksgiving, sometimes the week of, Congress will allow Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac to lend at higher levels. So if we've seen appreciation, then they will typically raise the conforming and high balance loan limits, which is percentage based. So we're getting more and more of an increase each year. It's a really big deal. Currently our conforming rates 510 400, and we're always getting pushed, you know, for people having to squeeze them into that amount. Well, a 5.5% increase, if it's like previous years, will bring it to 539, which is huge. And then also, you know, you could see over 800,000 for the high balance, which is fantastic. So, you know, $1 million purchase, 20% down, you're getting a conforming loan, best interest rates out there, and in the easiest underwriting guidelines. That really, really helps things. So I'm more excited than anything else about that coming, and it'll definitely help the clients along the way. And then for our trivia question on the next slide, what percent of home buyers under the age of 35 received either partial or full down payment assistance from their parents, family members, according to a survey by financial services company Legal & General? This is a big one. Now, you do have to, I don't mean to water it down, but you know, in our world, everything is considered a gift. So that's just what lenders call when money comes from somewhere to someone else. And in our world, everyone's your uncle too. So if it's a family member, you know, he's your uncle. They don't do any DNA tests. So if money's transferring from one to the other, yes, we're going to use a gift letter to make that work. And that's exactly what it is. All the lender wants to know is that there's no payments, like formal payment scenario on that money. So whoever's giving the money, you know, it's definitely a family member, and there are no formal payments is basically because the lender doesn't want someone to be getting a loan to get a loan. But I've seen a lot of answers come through here. And Jen gets it. Yep, 43%, big number, huge number. 43% of folks under 35 received a gift from family members. That's a big one. Mark, what do you think? Is that about right, or does it seem high?
For me, it's 100%.
Yeah.
I wish it was.
That's
40%.
Your family.
Yeah, I would have never guessed 43%. I mean, that number to me is, you know, again, I know, like what you said, with the worlds of lenders, no matter where they got it from, it comes out as a family member, the way they do it. But that's still, to me, that number is unbelievable.
It's amazing, right?
Yeah.
Well, all good news on the rate front for now, but definitely that anxiety is starting to come through with all of us. I mean, when we see a ratification on Saturday night at 11 p.m., we're actually sending them to lock in at that point, whereas we wouldn't have been doing that for the last 6 months. So that'll just show you how kind of where our head is at as far as interest rates go.
All good. Any questions? Is that it, Rich?
Yeah, that's it.
Any questions for Rich? Nothing going on there? I don't think, what's the next slide? I think we can go out of the slide. What's the next slide, Jacinta? Is it the regular sales week? I think the next one, it's about open houses and stuff. So, oh yeah, nobody sent anything, right? There's no other slide, right? Go to the next slide. Yeah, so if you didn't send it and you have something you want to, you can go out of the slides now, Jacinta. If you have something you got coming, you want to talk about, anything you need, now's the time. Anybody have anything? Exit the slides.
Hi, this is Dave McCallum. Hopefully by the end of this week, I'll be putting a townhouse on the market in Wingate 2, which comes up very infrequently. It's 2-level. It has an unfinished basement, but with the potential to add bedroom, bath, office, whatever there. It's going to be a little over $600,000, around 610, and hopefully we'll finish the renovation this week.
All right. Oh, you said the price, yeah. Hold on one second, we'll be back. Anything, anybody else, anything else they need or got coming or want to talk about?
Yeah, hi. I have a coming soon. It should be on the market towards the end of next week. It is off of Edsel Road, great little townhome community, convenient location. It's a 2-level townhome with 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. So it has an ensuite bath in the master. Everything's pretty much been renovated, new floors, new kitchen, really just very charming, very cute. Great back patio. And it is going to be $424,900. So it's also a great starter home. It's condo ownership. So they take care of, the roof has been replaced, very low maintenance. And $424,900, low condo fee of $250 a month, which includes pool, tennis, basketball courts. So there's really a lot of nice amenities as well. It's on Independence Circle. So if anybody has anybody, please let me know.
All right. Hey, Lise, you went on in the
I heard, I was on the, yeah.
After all that, they canceled the venue on us. Lisa was one of the
that's
ones that were helping me try to figure it out.
That's a
Yeah,
bummer.
when the governor changed the rules. So we'll do something eventually. All right, anything else? Anybody else has some other questions or anything else? Look at Julie. Julie, you look like you're enjoying it out there in the sun, Julie. Yes, Deb, you have.
I do. I missed my opportunity after Rich. I just wanted to thank Rich and Fred. I think I'm getting a double audio.
You are. We only see from your eyes up, not your whole face.
All right, I was listening on the phone. I wanted to thank Wyckoff Financial, Rich and Fred. I couldn't let this opportunity go by because I had a transaction that was not going so well with another lender, and I'll just leave the story as is. But Rich and Fred took over the transaction and closed the transaction. We closed yesterday in a remarkable time. And I wanted to thank them for that and to let everybody know that Wyckoff Financial, when you're in a foxhole, a real estate foxhole of lending, call Rich and Fred. That transaction was remarkable.
Thanks, Bev. Yeah, listen, we've been saying it now for months and months. They've closed everything they're supposed to. I can't tell you because on my job, I get agents all the time. I don't know what to do. They pick their own lender. Now the lender's not responding. I mean, literally not responding, not answering phone calls. I mean, we seemed, stressed out by the day of things not settling. I think Elizabeth's on, Elizabeth and I went through one last week where literally, every single day, they're not even getting a response, I mean, ultimately these things all usually end up settling, but it's just really gotten really bad with some of this stuff. Anything else? Any other questions? Any other things anybody want to talk about? Anything else we need to do? All right, I think that is it. I'm thinking about, for those who I talked about the business plan, I'm thinking about Thursday. I'm thinking probably before the day starts, so everybody's on maybe like 9:30 in the morning. We knock it out between 9:30 and 10:30. You just get out, I'll send out the directions where you have to get to on your laptop if you don't know. That video I did last week shows you exactly, but I'll send out something and we could just go through the questions and chat about it. And you click on it. I'll have something for my records. We get together for one-on-ones and talk. At least we know we had a goal that we were working towards in a direction, right? All right, I think that's it. Talk to you guys. Take care.